Hi, this is one of my geometry journals. I can't remember which one. I recently read an article that discussed the effects of spatial reasoning, or the importance of spatial reasoning for geometry. And then when I was reading through some of the blogs that I follow, I came across a blog post about this Project Ignite, and so I decided to come over here and just kind of play around with it a little bit and see what they had available. So for Project Ignite, you can set up an account for free and sign on as a teacher, and you can create a classroom, and then it generates a code for you to send to your students, and then your students will all be together in your classroom, and you can monitor. You can send them assignments and monitor where they are on your assignments. And so I've kind of created a classroom here, and I have just been browsing through some of the different projects that they have available, and a lot of this is design, and it's kind of more guided lessons, and some of them send you to Tinkercad, which I've also tried playing around with a little bit, but felt very disorganized, and I needed something with a little more structure to help me see how I could utilize it in a classroom. So this is, here we go, to projects. And one of the projects that I wanted to try out, I thought would be good for various things. Just looking through this is creating a pottery stamp, and just some of the features of this. It has a section here for teachers that talks a little bit about, some of the standards that they feel go along with this lesson. And here you can see it's beginner and some of the different subjects that are integrated. And then it goes through stages here. So the first part is introduction, and it's telling you a basic overview of the lesson, creating a 3D printable stamp that you could use to embellish pottery. So if you were doing something cross-curricular, you could get into history and designs used in different cultures, and have kids research and maybe pick a design that has some geometric structure to it that they could then create, all depending on the age level that you're working with. And my focus is more towards middle school, so this seems like it would be on target with that. So that's the first part of it, and then I'm moving on to the second part, and here it's going to take me to Tinkercad. And so with Project Ignite, the password and login that you use is also the same for Tinkercad. And I've looked a little bit into Tinkercad, and I think you have to approve kids that are younger than 13. So I already have an account set up, and it's just automatically taking me to it, but I don't know what that would look like if I had students that didn't have a Tinkercad account set up. So I think I would need to investigate that a little bit more. So on the side here, it looks like this is where they're giving me the directions. Let's a simple box sized to the correct dimensions. Okay, so I've got 3 different stamps here. And then drag a cube box. So I do think, after playing around with this for a little bit, that there would definitely have to be and Project Ignite does have this, some tutorials on just the basics on how to navigate through Tinkercad. So what I'm liking about this is that it's giving me dimensions too. So we've got measurement in here. A work plane and size to be 50 millimeters long. $10 wide. And 3 millimeters tall. I think. And then I can choose whichever color that I like. Something maybe easier on my eyes. I guess red is not bad. Oh, that one's a touch. It's boring. Okay. So I know there's a way to zoom in. There we go. Okay, done. Create my rings. Oh, there it is. This step, you will use several different shapes to create a group of concentric rings with a cylinder in the center. You must have, okay, so here I like that we're already getting into some vocabulary, and with the charter school that I'm working with, it is a one-to-one kind of flipped classroom, so students are sent out to research and gather information on their own, and then we come back and collaborate, and then students choose a project of their liking to represent their learning. So I think a format like this would work really well in that setting. We're kind of introducing some vocabulary in context, and then when we come back together, we can go over it and reinforce. Okay, for rings or circles to be concentric, they must have the same center point. Drag a tube onto the work plane. Okay, I'm going to come over here. Tube thin. And size it to be 8 millimeters square and 2 millimeters tall. Oh, it's tiny. Okay, I gotta zoom in. And 2 millimeters tall. I'm going to change the color. Okay. Drag the tube. Oh, different one. Okay. Onto the work plane and size it to be 5 millimeters square and 2 tall. Oh, you know what? I don't know if that other one was square. That's 4 square, 5 square, 2 tall. Oh, it wasn't square. What was it, 8? and then 2 millimeter, a cylinder. And I need it to be a 2 by 2. Select the 3 shapes you just created. Hold the Shift key down on the keyboard and then each of the rings. Hold the Shift key, left click on each of the rings and the cylinder. With all 3 shapes selected, click the Align command from the Adjust menu on the toolbar. Adjust, Align. I did something wrong. Click the middle dots on each side . Click the middle dots on each side of the Align tool to align the centers of the shape. How about that? Select the shapes that you just aligned. The shapes aligned, you can use a window selection to select the shapes. Just left click and drag the window across the shapes to select them all at once. Select the shapes. With the shapes aligned, you can use a window selection. Assuming this. Okay. Click the group button on the toolbar to combine them. Continue. Okay, so I should be able to move it now. Oh. All at once. Next part of the lesson. Is to move these probably on top of this. Lift the rings. Oh, okay. So now I have to lift the rings 3 millimeters off the plane so that they can go on top of. I wonder if I can change my view here. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. I have to lift it. Top of the rings. Okay. So this arrow is going to lift it 3 millimeters so it's even with the base. select the rings and the base, and then select the Align tool. Okay, rings, base, oh, maybe I need to change my view again. Base, rings, align, so that they're in the middle of the vase and aligned to one end. Okay, so in the middle on this end. Let's see what that looks like. Select just the rings and press the right arrow key 3 times to move the rings 3 millimeters away from the end. Oh, I have the wrong thing selected. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So each click of the arrow moves at 1 millimeter. Okay, duplicating. After the shape has been duplicated, okay, select the rings. With the rings selected, duplicate the rings by selecting Duplicate from the Edit menu. Make sure your snap grid is set to 1 millimeter. Yes. The rings still selected, press the arrow key 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My grid changed. How do I undo? Undo. Okay. 1. Okay. Okay. Try again. Duplicate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do it 3 more times. Duplicate. Oh, it did that. 2, 3. Great work. Okay, there's my first stamp. Done. So that's going to go ahead and take me to the next lesson. Now that we've done one pattern, you can use all shapes in the browser. Some different examples, different shapes, triangles, squares, rolled like a rolling pin, and then this is where students would create their own design. So I think there's a lot to work with here. And lots of different shapes to create stamps, letters. I think there's a place for you to give more directions But really what I've seen at this charter school is kids just submitting this, either taking a screenshot or exporting it. Tinkercad has a feature where if you have a 3D printer, you can print your designs. And I think they even have some recommendations for places that you can send it to be printed. And that's it.